You're now listening to The Couch on 24/7 Miami with your hosts, Chubby Dubby, Clem December,
Dave Clem. December, it's Clem time.
and your boy Coleman.
Coleman, I've had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor, no one liked me.
Let's go. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Yes.
Welcome back to the couch. It is Super Bowl week.
Super Sunday.
Not
Tuesday.
my. It's like Super Bowl is like my fourth favorite sporting event ever.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the other ones? We are broadcasting live from the beautiful Pembroke Pines, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and you are listening to The Couch on YouTube.
Yes. The couch. Coleman. Matt. It's Super Bowl week.
What are your other three?
So not in terms of like a sports day. And the opening week one of NFL Sunday is better than the Super Bowl for me.
Yeah, I'll agree.
And then also what's better than Super Bowl Sunday is Friday of the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
I love those days. You just can literally sit and watch buzzer beater games for 12 hours.
Yeah. I think the Super Bowl is definitely it's exciting, and I think that it's a lot more fun to like hang out with your friends and eat a lot of food. The game doesn't always necessarily matter. You know what I mean? Like the Patriots and the Falcons. I mean, I was like, go Falcons, but I don't really care. This year, Patriots and the Eagles. I'm like, go Eagles, but I still don't really care.
Isn't that how any game ever is if your team's not in it?
Yeah, I mean,
but
with other fantasy implications and stuff like that. I mean, like during the regular season, you just like watch all the games and root for whatever.
Okay, fine, but you can also have gambling implications on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that too. That's part of the fun too, playing squares and doing all that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly. So it's not, just because the winner doesn't matter doesn't mean the day doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's still a great day. We're all gonna barbecue and hopes to be a good game.
Hopefully, and this is it. Like, it pains me, and I think I said it this week. Like, I just can't root for the Patriots, so I guess I'm an Eagles fan for the day.
Oh no, for sure.
I don't like the Eagles.
No,
I don't like the fans.
I for sure want the Eagles to win.
Well,
right, never.
Because their fans throw batteries at people and say the N-word a lot.
Yeah, it's like karma.
Yeah.
But they do win a lot in hockey and baseball. So maybe, and God, you can win all these minute sports, but you will not win in football.
The 76ers are coming up too, though. I like the trust the process. I like Joel Embiid. We'll see where they're going.
Right,
but I digress. We're still talking about the Super Bowl.
Ben Simmons.
Super Bowl 52. Just a little bit of like what it is that we're going to be watching, or what it is that you can expect to see on Sunday. This is like one of the most evenly matched Super Bowl matchups that I've ever seen when it comes to like breaking down what it is that you're looking at on paper. Okay, never mind the fact that we have, Carson Wentz got injured, so now we have Nick Foles. Set that aside for a little bit. Let's look at the overall broader spectrum. Both of these teams were 13-3 throughout the regular season, number one seed inside their conference. Offense, 394 yards per game total. Eagles offense, 365 yards per game total. 28.6. Both teams scored exactly 28.6 points per game. So the offenses, points-wise, are identical. So the defenses allowed 366 yards for the Patriots per game. Eagles 306 yards per game. Then now let's go to the points per game. Patriots 18.4. Eagles 18.5. Nearly identical.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And also, what is kind of identical, I saw this the other day, is Nick Foles' career numbers next to Carson Wentz's career numbers. Nick Foles is actually 19-11 win-loss. Wentz is 18-11. And then every stat is literally each other, but Nick Foles is better. Nick Foles has like a point better QBR.
Okay.
He's thrown like 2 more touchdowns versus 1 less interception. So I think I mentioned this last week, and I'll say it again. Where I'm at on Nick Foles, because I think jury was out on Nick Foles. He started his career unbelievable, 27 touchdowns to 2. Maybe went to the playoffs with the Eagles that year. I think he lost. He did have a playoff start coming into this year, so that was probably that year. But then he fell into the Jeff Fisher hole.
Right. It definitely wasn't with the 7-9 Rams.
Right. So the jury, yeah. So the jury was out on Nick Foles, and I'm back. I'm the jury. I'm back. This is good. When he has the right people around him.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't know if there's anyone out there that's chalking this up as a Patriots W, but I'm definitely not. I think it's going to be a great game. I thought the Vikings would beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles handled them, and again, Nick Foles didn't just manage the game. Nick Foles was that game.
He was impressive.
He was over
downright impressive.
350 yards, 3 touchdowns. If that Nick Foles shows up again, then this will be a game.
Yeah, and I think honestly, that it's going to come down to like the offenses are a wash, the defenses are a wash, but it's going to come down to scheming and how you play against the Patriots. And so we saw with the Giants the way that you have to get after Tom Brady with 4. You can't blitz him because they'll pick you apart. You can't double team and you're not running man to man because you have a blitz. He's going to find whoever it is and he's going to find a matchup. They rotate 8 defensive linemen in and out. Like Chris Long played 30 snaps last night.
Right, so they're always healthy.
So they're always fresh.
So
what they hopefully healthy.
Yeah.
If nobody gets hurt. But so what they're going to try to do is they're going to keep on rotating defensive linemen, and they're going to do exactly what I just told you. What they're going to try to do is just rushing 4, and then try to get hits on Tom Brady.
Yeah, they got to sack Tom Brady. They probably have to turn him over.
Yeah,
like they definitely have to. They're going to have to force 2 turnovers at least, and the Eagles. What the Eagles do is they take turnovers back for touchdowns.
Right.
So that would help. Yeah, the defense is going to have to give Nick Foles help. I don't think Nick Foles is going to win in a shootout.
Yeah.
And again, I think Nick Foles, they're going to have to get up early and then stay ahead, because if it's a close game and Tom Brady gets the ball at the end,
of course,
that history is already written.
They need to do what the Falcons couldn't do last year in the Super Bowl, and that's if you get a good lead, you don't stop. You got to put your foot on the neck. You keep on going. Keep hitting Tom Brady. Don't sit back and prevent defense. Don't run a giant up the middle for 3 straight plays in the third quarter. You know what I mean? Do what the Jaguars could have done. More proactive with the play calling. Instead of playing not to lose the game, you really have to play to win the game. It's very cliche and it sounds stupid. You got to play to win the Super Bowl. If you don't try to win it, you're not gonna. You know what I mean?
We will have some trivia.
Oh, you want a little piece right now?
Well, hang on. You save yours. I got one. It might be one of yours.
It's probably not.
And yeah, that's probably hopefully.
Is it about avocados?
No.
Okay.
Avocados.
Yeah.
So. But I still think it's crazy, so I'm going to bring it up for anyone who hasn't heard. Out of the last 13 Super Bowls, the team wearing white uniforms has won 12 of the last 13 Super Bowls.
Patriots are wearing white.
Patriots are wearing white this year. The 15 years to win was the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers wearing green when they beat Steelers?
Yeah, Steelers.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So throughout the show, we'll have some more trivia brought to you by, I guess it's Super Bowl avocado trivia.
Yeah. Brought to you by Haas Avocados from California.
Excellent.
Some questions I have about the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Do you think that Gronk is going to clear concussion protocol in time?
With Gronk, it's weird because, like, how do you judge if Gronk has a concussion?
How do you know?
How do you know?
He said he posted on social media
What's
today.
Gronk's baseline?
Right. Like, just for an example, like, this is something that he posted on social media today. He said it was freezy in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is what he said.
Freezy.
Freezy in Minneapolis. Now, is that because he's concussed, or is that just because he's Rob Gronkowski?
Or his fingers are frozen and he can't feel them he can't feel them, so he can't really type on his phone.
He said yes.
That wasn't a tweet.
No.
Oh, okay.
He recorded a video. It's freezy in Minneapolis.
Yeah, well,
Maybe his tongue was frozen.
Before the AFC Championship, he was talking about the New England crowd, and he did play in the game last year, and he's like, "Oh man, the crowd was great. They were going bazooka."
Bazooka, yes, very good. So how do you tell? That was prior to his concussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So exactly, that's not that's. We've seen they won the Super Bowl last year without him. They went through the whole playoffs. Rob Gronkowski. So it's not the end of the world.
Right.
With the Patriots, it's like as long as you got Tom Brady. Yeah, so as long as you got Tom Brady, they'll be fine. Again, and it's always, if it's not Gronk, it's Julian Edelman. If it's not Julian Edelman, it's Danny Amendola. Like, one of those guys always gets it done.
Yeah. But Gronk is just a matchup nightmare for anybody because you have to put a linebacker on him, and no linebackers can really cover him.
Right,
so,
but
it's a cheat code.
Right, he is a mismatched body, but so is Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's true. And so Tommy Terrible got the stitches removed for his hand.
Did he?
He's likely to be 100%.
I noticed he's still walking into media day. He had I'm like, it's not that cool, Tom. But he doesn't want to let everyone know. He likes to keep it mysterious.
Right. Yeah, I mean, listen, if he didn't play for the Patriots, I would be like, yo, Tom Brady's like the man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like legitimate, beautiful wife.
Right.
Great hair, even though it's fake. All these Super Bowl rings.
Is it fake?
I think it's plugs, but whatever. I'm obviously.
I don't know. I think.
Obviously, I'm a little jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So am I.
But yeah,
I think he's got a nice lettuce.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So here is a little avocado trivia for you. Assumed on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oof.
You got to give a number.
I'm gonna say.
According to the California Avocado Commission, which is a real thing apparently,
right,
160 million avocados will be consumed this Sunday.
I mean, I figured 50 million households watching the game, at least 2 avocados per household. That's where I got my number from.
That's a lot of guac.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So Super Bowl trivia.
Yeah. We have the imaging for that, but it's gone.
I basically just did it perfectly.
You did it very well. Did you watch the Pro Bowl?
Well, I did not.
Neither did I.
But I actually did have. This is actually going to be. I didn't think you were going to ask me that.
Okay.
Because I wasn't gonna let you know that I didn't watch it. I was just going to hit you with the stat.
Okay.
A little contradictory because you'll hear. So people who think the NFL is leaking ratings and the NFL whatever. Pro Bowl did 8.6 million views. You can see where this is kind of an odd story for me to say because I didn't watch this.
It's okay.
But I wasn't going to tell you that, but you asked me. So.
It's okay. You don't have to.
And
you don't need to know how the hot dog is made. You just enjoy the hot dog.
Right. And I don't know how relevant this is. They came out with this. They said 8.6 million views. That would have been the 7th best regular season college game.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, why don't you tell me how good that would have been in terms of an NFL game?
Right. I mean, you're cherry picking stats there, but I get it. I get the idea. And just because we don't watch it, I mean, whatever. There's a lot of people that do care about it and watch it.
And I mean, I was watching it, I just didn't have my eyes on the TV the whole time because I was like at work and then at a bar afterward.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a bar after the game was over and then watched whatever the NBA game was on. I think
the skill challenge was good though.
Yeah, I didn't see it though. Again,
I didn't see it either, but I saw the highlights.
You heard it was good.
I heard it was good. I mean, they played dodgeball, which is cool, and Jarvis Landry won the drone drop. I mean, what they did was
I've seen the drone drop before. That's cool.
Cool event.
Yeah.
And dodgeball's cool. And honestly, this little relay race they did was really cool. They had this one particular part where they were like throwing fumbles out. They had to grab a ball and hold onto it and grab the next ball. 4 total balls. Patrick Peterson was grabbing balls with one hand. Footballs, they roll funny.
Yeah.
Not easy to grab on the first try.
Right.
And he was like snagging them one hand, putting them, and it was impressive.
Nice.
So yeah, and Jarvis, not only did he win the drone drop, he had the game clinching catch in dodgeball.
I think he had a good game during the Pro Bowl too.
Like 4 catches for like 80 yards.
Yeah.
So fins up.
Look forward to seeing him in a different uniform next year.
Exactly.
Excuse me, sorry, no cough button. So we're gonna take a little break real quick, and then when we get back to you, we're gonna have a little segment we like to call Quick Hits.
We'll be right back on the couch just in time for you to get a call.
Ouch, ladies and gentlemen. This second segment is brought to you courtesy of the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. As the signature initiative of the Miami Dolphins Foundation, the DCC is a way all of us can be cancer fighters. Raised funds go to innovative cancer research at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. Challenge.com for more details. By the way, not this upcoming Saturday, but the following Saturday, February 10th, is when we're actually doing the bike ride. And cancer research. You can go to my Twitter, ITSCOLEMAN, and it's actually, I've got the fundraising page pinned on my profile. Dolphins Cancer Challenge.
Excellent.
So now we've got a little one of our favorite segments, a very unique one coming up. Quick hits. Very suggestive imaging there. I'm not sure what the person that made that was trying to get at, but so quick hits. Did you see the news about Ronda Rousey?
I did. She is joining WWE.
Ronda Rousey made an appearance on some sort of.
It was Royal Rumble 25.
Okay. I don't watch wrestling.
I didn't watch it either. There seems to be a pattern here of us not watching. We don't watch anything we talk about.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay.
But
it's all secondhand information.
I'm an expert in it anyways, even though I don't watch it. But so Ronda Rousey further cementing that I will never see her in another match again by joining the WWE. I thought it's kind of cool. Like, I used to watch wrestling when I was younger. Like, I'm a fan of like Hulk Hogan and the Nature Boy and the Ultimate Warrior and Rowdy Piper. And so she's Rowdy Ronda Rousey. She came out in sort of like the Roddy Piper sort of theme.
Right. He's like her whole inspiration to fighting. She said that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I like it. It's cool. I'm still never gonna watch it, but that's cool. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way that she lost her last two fights was pretty devastating in the UFC, and I think that we even said on the show, like, I believe I said she just needs to quit. Like,
I saw something interesting that she was being interviewed, and the guy said, "It's like, are you just gonna like show up at the big events, or is this like gonna be your thing?" And she's like, "No, this is my thing. Like, I'm gonna be fighting at a lot of events. This is going to be my job for the next few years." And she said, I could be making a lot more money doing something else, but I wouldn't be doing what I love. And I'm just thinking, like, she's probably going to be making a good amount of money for the WWE, right?
Yeah.
What else would you have done and been paid more? Like, what is Ronda Rousey going to do and get more money, excluding MMA? I'm assuming she's done with MMA.
Yeah.
Right? Excluding going back to MMA. What are you going to do besides WWE, which, despite there being sort of a, what's the word, like a stigma around WWE, that, like, if you still watch it as an adult, like, maybe you're like a nerd, and it's more of a kid's thing.
I don't even like to go there. Like, I'm not trying to like what they like. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But there's a stigma around it, like being fake and So, but it's still for 30 years. And Vince McMahon, by the way, we could get into another quick hit about that. He just the XFL.
Right.
I mean, he has built a huge billion-dollar company. And you're Ronda Rousey. You're a big name. I just want to know, what else would you have done to make more money than go to the WWE?
Yeah, I don't know.
I come calling her bluff on that.
Yeah. Sort of whatever answer that she's never going to have to, say anything about ever again, whatever. And good for her. Like, I hope that she's happy doing it, because like it seems like she sort of like fell on a little bit of like dark times after those losses, which whatever. I mean, she was a very abrasive person, you know what I mean? Like, she was not very humble. You know, a lot of the times about like being like the baddest woman on the planet or whatever, and
Yeah.
she got silenced. But still, I don't wish her any ill will. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you were waiting for her to get her ass kicked for a long time. It sounds like when she got her ass kicked, you were like, "Yeah, you had it coming, you stupid bee."
No, not like that. But I just know, like, look, if she's happy doing WWE, good for her. And for people that watch wrestling still, like, I just don't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you're a total nerd, but you're a little bit of a nerd.
A little bit of a nerd. Okay.
I mean, it's fake.
It's scripted.
I mean, like, it's TV. I guess it's TV show.
It's still athletic.
There's TV shows that I like, and I know it's fake. So you know what? I'm not gonna hate on it.
It's a sports soap opera played out on live television for dorks.
Right. Perfect.
Also in MMA news, did you see that Floyd Mayweather posted a little video of him getting inside of an MMA cage?
I did, and wow, I did see that. Now, does that mean he's gonna fight?
No.
An MMA fight?
No.
Because what would happen if he fought Conor McGregor in an MMA rules fight?
Well, the rumors have been swirling that they want to do a rematch, but Conor McGregor wants it to be in the MMA ring. But like, it's again like this. Even when we had this boxing match, it's not sanctioned in the same like way. It's just two people like fighting, you know what I mean? So it's not like one of them is going to win like a UFC belt.
It's like a clown fighting a bear. It's
right.
like it doesn't mean anything. It's just an event. It's to put people in seats.
Correct, and to make money.
And to
so
make money.
This, if they were to do this, it would be the same thing. But I think that it would have to be promoted differently because, like, in the promotions, like I don't think that MMA is there yet. Right. Not necessarily. They still have a lot of pay-per-view buys. They still have a lot, but like.
But isn't it all in the names anyways? I mean, if Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor want to have a finger painting contest, it's those two, so we'll watch it.
Yes, but like I'm just saying from like a historical standpoint, when you look at like pay-per-views for boxing, like there have been like $100 pay-per-views with big, huge events, mostly, you know, Floyd Mayweather, $50.
Right.
So like to do like sort of like a clown circus, like I don't know, like I mean, look.
But that's what I'm saying is
if you do it with them, maybe you can.
You charge $100,
right?
Like,
yeah, maybe you can, but it doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to do it. I mean,
I don't think that was the best thing. Both guys can punch.
Yeah,
right.
And they both got paid.
But I'm saying like in terms of like it actually being a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Like we know Conor McGregor can punch. Maybe not as technically as Floyd Mayweather, but he's a trained puncher.
Right.
I don't think Floyd's a trained grappler. I don't think he's a trained kickboxer.
He's not.
You know what I mean? So
maybe, I mean, so they found out that he had rented out the Kid MMA gym in Las Vegas. That's where he took the video.
Mm-hmm.
But they say that he rents out gyms all the time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's in there grappling. It just means that he's working out.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of money, so he rents a whole gym.
Right. He doesn't want anyone else in there, so he rents the whole gym.
That's cool.
No big deal. We have our weekly Lavarr Ball update. So, you know, we've been tracking Lavarr Ball from bashing Luke Walton to his kids out of school to moving him to Lithuania. Then we were like, how long before he's coaching the team? Well, he got his first head coaching job, and we had that last week, and now here we are.
All it took was 1 week.
1 week, and Lavarr Ball update, he's head coach.
Yeah.
Lavarr Ball is a head coach of what is it? The Lithuanian
Vasilika Yuka.
Yep. And so, hey man, in Lavarr Ball's head coaching debut, LaMelo Ball had a 40-point triple-double, and LiAngelo added 31. And also I heard today that it was like an Instagram post from Vlad TV, which he has a lot of followers. I've heard of that before.
Okay.
I've heard of that. I think it's rather reputable, even though he's like a YouTube prankster.
Okay. But
it was like quoting Lavarr Ball that said, "I'm going to keep LaMelo in Lithuania." The Lakers.
Yeah. Which, you know, you can obviously he has control over that.
But hey, 2 weeks ago we didn't see Lavarr Ball head coaching this team to a LaMelo 40-point triple-double.
It's like
the guy can do whatever he wants.
Big Baller brand, that's the name of the tournament in the basketball.
It's the name of the league they play
now
in.
It's the Big Baller League.
It's the Big Baller League of Lithuania.
So maybe he's just like, hey,
and
Magic Johnson. LiAngelo is a Laker, and Magic Johnson just says, you know what? I guess he is.
I guess he is.
What number does he want to wear?
Does he want number 8 or 24?
Yeah.
I know we just hung those up, but if he wants one of them, if he wants both of them, he's got them.
Yep. Pull him off the rafters, sew them together. He's gonna wear it. I mean, who knows? You never know. It's unbelievable. And now
he's gonna be commissioner next week of the Big Baller
Lithuanian in Lithuania. Lonzo Ball is starting a rap career in Lithuania. Like, it's an amazing world that we live in.
It's Lavarr Ball's world that we live in.
We're all living in the Big Baller brand.
We're all living in the Big Baller brand.
So next week, the Lavarr Ball update will be no doubt something shocking.
Yeah.
He's LiAngelo's a Laker
in the face or
something like that. Let's segue over to a little bit of a strange topic in baseball. The Cleveland Indians have decided that they are no longer going to use Chief Wahoo starting in 2019 as their mascot and logo.
Yeah, starting in 2019. So it's racist and inappropriate, but not so much that we don't want to like make new logos now and like make new uniforms that quick. Like, it's not. We only have 4 months until baseball starts. How are we going to make new uniforms?
It's weird. I think that it's probably a step in the right direction. Like, Native Americans aren't even Indians. I don't know why we're still calling them Indians. They're not from India. That was the mistake a long time ago.
We thought we were going to India, and I was going to call him Curtis Columbus.
Curtis Columbus. It's Chris's little brother.
Christopher Columbus was seeking India and just found America. He's like, this is India. Yeah. You are Indians.
So we're still calling them Indians.
And
they're still going to be called the Indians.
And they're still going to, and even if we change, and even if we stop calling them Indians in baseball, we're still going to call them Redskins in the NFL.
Correct.
So,
Blackhawks, I think, is a little bit less offensive, right? Maybe.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one.
I don't know, but I mean, they went to, I believe they went to whoever the commissioner of the NFL is, Roger Goodell. And
that guy.
And he said regarding the Redskins, I don't think they're going to change it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. It's a step in the right direction, but it's also a little bit of like pomp and circumstance. It's like.
And also,
you're fluffing. You're fluffing.
And also, that's like the Cleveland Indians, whatever. The Washington Redskins, like, that's kind of like asking like the Cowboys or the Giants or the Eagles to change their name. Like, one of like, I don't know, like historic franchises in the NFL.
I think. I mean, wouldn't you say that the Cleveland Indians are considered maybe not a historic franchise in Major League Baseball, but they're one of the original ones?
I guess you're right. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. I mean, it's weird that like these names were picked in the first place and they lasted for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden in 2018, I mean, I get it in 2018, like everyone just has to be politically correct. It's like everyone's walking on eggshells. And people who are supposed to be offended by these things aren't the people who are offended by these things. It's like white, it's like soccer moms like who are like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And you have like feminists, and I'm not gonna.
that came out really great. Feminist.
I know, but no, what they do is great for women, but also they tend to maybe like get into other things, like stick to, if you want to do women's I'm going down a
You're going
bad
down
hole.
a very dark hole.
But
there.
like maybe stick to women's rights and not just be like, oh, like everything's offensive. Like all of a sudden everything in America's offensive.
Just call them tree huggers next time or pit sniffers, something like that.
All right.
Not offensive at all.
Right.
I don't know. I'm sure that there were some Native American people that were like had something to do with this, but I do get what you're saying. There's a lot of people that hitch a ride to something just to be just to be offended.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. This may be a little bit too young for you, but some of my friends will definitely get it. But there's a movie called PCU with Jeremy Piven, and it's basically about the political correctness of college campuses and how everything is so PC. And there's people that are like, they're just demonstrating and protesting. Like one guy's like, "Free Nelson Mandela," and they're like, "No, they freed him already. We don't have to protest that anymore." Like they just don't know. Everybody's protesting everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. I get where you're going with that a little bit. Anyways, the Cleveland Indians, Chief Wahoo, no longer going to be there in 2019, and there's a lot of people that are upset about it.
People are upset than are happy.
I think it's probably an even split. Like Cleveland Indian fans do not want to lose Chief Wahoo. They're in an uproar on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you look at like most of the people donning tribal gear are usually like just like white males.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Especially in Cleveland.
Yeah, especially in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. And just a little quick tidbit here, some tennis news. Roger Federer won the Australian Open over the weekend. It's breaking his own record. He's the only person with 20 major titles. He was the only person with 19.
Okay.
He might have been the only person with 18.
Nice.
But yeah, so he adds to his count.
Just continually breaking his own record.
He's got 20. He is pretty much like, tennis doesn't really get any much recognition.
Yeah.
But like Roger Federer is like Tiger Woods. Like people need to be talking about Roger Federer like they talk about Tiger Woods.
Talk about Roger Federer, more people.
Right. What are you doing? The Swiss Army knife. I think he's from Switzerland.
Maybe. We'll have our fact checkers get it.
We'll double check that. We don't really do a lot of fact checking around here before we say things. After the fact is, it's better. What do they say? It's better to apologize and ask for permission.
Yeah.
So
forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Right.
Yeah. Same thing.
Right.
It's just the same. So we have a little update on news from last week. Remember New York Jets wide receiver Robbie Anderson? You remember what he did?
Right.
Speeding around doing 105 and 45 somewhere around here. Yeah.
Telling his
on Nob Hill, just cutting people off.
Fornicate with his wife.
Yes, and
finish on her face.
Finish on her face. Well, he went to court, or his lawyer went to court and pled not guilty to all of these charges. One of which includes harming a public service aide, which could carry up to 15 years in prison. And he has said he demands a jury trial. So things are looking really up for Robbie Anderson.
Oh no! All for speeding.
Yes.
Like, and I think we said it. You said it wasn't even. It wasn't like the middle. It wasn't like 3 a.m. where he's driving drunk. He's just driving fast for no reason.
Just got to get home and watch Blue Bloods. You know what I mean, on CBS.
Yeah, the old Tom Selleck.
Brought to you by Blue Bloods. I don't even know if it's on CBS or not.
I don't even know if Tom Selleck's in Blue Bloods.
He probably is. You know.
I feel like he is, but I also feel like it's on CBS.
Yeah.
I think we're right on all accounts here.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works here.
Do you have any other quick hits?
I do not. So. Do you?
No, I don't.
So take a little break.
We're gonna take one more break. It's our dated third break. Sorry.
Labor laws.
Okay. Welcome back to the couch. We are live on YouTube. And that is cool. That is cool. I hope it sounds good. All right. We're gonna get into some NBA news for the final segment. We're also gonna do everyone's favorite segment, Simple Jack. But before we get to Simple Jack, I'm gonna tell you, Simple Jack is brought to you by BeastDFS.com. BeastDFS.com is your one-stop shop for daily fantasy analytics. The Beast DFS contains critical, valuable, and insightful information necessary when creating daily fantasy lineups in NFL and NBA. Go to BeastDFS.com and download your copy of the Beast Junior for free today. That's where you get all that information. You get it free today at BeastDFS.com. Time for Simple Jack.
Beautiful return.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That is correct, loyal listeners, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of what we here at the couch begrudgingly refer to as Lolo Jones's favorite segment,
Oh,
Simple Jack. This week, Simple Jack comes to us courtesy of the Associated Press out of Northwood, Iowa, where everything nice always happens. Northwood, Iowa.
the town that never sleeps.
Authorities say a man arrested at a northern Iowa casino told a deputy that he punched a gambling machine because he was mad at it. Dion King was arrested and charged with criminal mischief after a Worth County deputy was called to the casino to address a criminal complaint about a broken machine. Video. The deputy was able to identify King punching the video touchscreen several times, causing an estimate of $2,000 in damage. King was questioned and admitted he became frustrated with the machine and indeed punched it. It is unclear how much, if any, money he lost prior to fighting the machine. He would not respond to comments. So, this brings me to a little bit of a question. Have you ever had any sort of like problems with anger or punching any sort of inanimate objects?
I mean, I've punched a wall before.
Yeah.
Who
hasn't punched a hole in the drywall?
Right, but no, and that I usually punch things that I know won't break because I don't want to break something.
Okay.
Right. So, but that usually makes my hand hurt more. But I don't really punch things that often. But I do wonder. I'm sure that a lot of slot machines that get punched.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dion King's.
He's not the first.
He's not the first. A lot of frustration at those things.
Breaking like video games reminded me of my youth. A little thing called the Sega Genesis.
Right.
I one time had a college football game that I got from Babbage's in the mall, the Lavarr Mall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I played this college football game for approximately 3 hours. Did not score a single point. I don't believe that I gained any yardage, and I decided that the game was cheating, and it needed to take a little trip across the street into my neighbor's yard, where it was either found or may still be there because I never recovered it.
Right.
That was it for the game. You're out of here. I've had enough of you.
Well, why can't I get a yard?
Yeah. So,
what did that have to do with Lolo Jones?
Lolo Jones is from Iowa.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever noticed the little tie-ins. The celebrity favorite segments are from the city where these things happen.
Oh, I always thought that like it was gonna. I don't know. I thought it was gonna have something to do with Lolo Jones.
No, never does.
Okay. So here is something about Lolo Jones.
Last week was out of Tampa. That's why I said Brooke Hogan.
Excellent. So,
Lolo Jones.
Lolo Jones.
This is going to segue.
I heard it is going to segue right into our NBA news. Have you heard this?
I saw briefly.
Yeah, well, I heard it on the Zaz on the show with Zaslow. I don't know what to call it. What's it called? Is it called the Zaslow Show or is it just the morning show?
Sure.
Anyways,
yes.
So amidst the Blake Griffin trade news, this story came up that Lolo Jones and Blake Griffin went on a date, and by Lolo Jones's account, her, it was not a good date.
Yeah.
And Blake Griffin is a bad kisser.
Huh.
So Blake Griffin's a bad kisser. Just so you know, in case you wanted to kiss Blake Griffin, don't do it. He's a bad kisser.
And you never know. I'm not sure how tied in with the Los Angeles Clippers Lolo Jones is, but maybe being a bad kisser is what got him sent to the Detroit Pistons. That's right. Blockbuster trade happened last night. Blake Griffin, the Los Angeles Clippers apparently appear to be blowing everything up.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly was surprised. The other day, I saw Blake Griffin. I saw Doc Rivers still on the sideline, and I was surprised. I was almost sure that they got rid of him this past offseason. I didn't know that he was still the coach. So it's basically like, when are they going to move DeAndre Jordan, because they're paying him a lot of money too?
I believe he will be next. If not him, Lou Williams for sure. Both of those guys are either making or set to make a lot of money in the next year. Being down and Chris Paul out of town, Lou Williams has really emerged as like an upcoming NBA star, even though he's been in the league for quite a while now. But so the LA Clippers sent over Blake Griffin to the Detroit Pistons. In return, they got Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, which I love Boban, a first rounder and a second round pick. They created a $1.5 and a $1.3 million trade exception.
Excellent.
In addition to the $7.3 million trade exception that they got when they traded Chris Paul away.
And they also traded
some other
Willie Reed,
yeah,
formerly of the Heat.
Correct. But my thought process for this is, why did you just sign him to a 5-year, $173 million contract if you're going to trade him halfway through the first season of it? When we signed the extension,
right?
That had already happened. So it's just I don't know. We talk about teams not like pulling the reset button and sort of like the Dolphins, you know what I mean? Like just meandering at 500 forever. So I get it when teams say, listen, this isn't going to work. We're going to blow it up. You know what I mean? It's the timing of it seems a little bit odd to me.
Yeah, it could have done it. Well, and Blake Griffin was it an extension or was it a new contract?
It's a new contract.
Right. So they could have just let him walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the way I see it is now they got something for him. I mean, what are they on the hook for? A couple $1 million of that. I mean, half of this season plus whatever guarantee they gave him.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, some of that guarantee is probably still to come, which
they have to assume the rest of it. Yeah. But it's just so like Boban, as much as I love him, like, come on, that's not like anything that has anything to do.
I don't think I think Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley are much more.
They are, but Avery Bradley's had a little bit of a disaster of a season in Detroit. He has not been very well. Tobias Harris is hurt all the time. Like the first round
Tobias Harris was supposed to be good. He has potential.
He does, but he's always hurt. The first round pick, if it's Detroit's first round pick, Detroit is in the top 8 of, they're going to make it to the playoffs. It's not going to be in the lottery. Right. You know what I mean? So,
and it's a protected. So even if it is a really good pick, they won't get it. You're not
going to get it anyways. You know what I mean? So it's just like they didn't get a lot in return for somebody like Blake Griffin, who obviously he's worth it.
And his own health issues as well.
That is true. And so, but what they're doing,
which I think played into, I read a tweet or a headline that said Blake Griffin's knee issues could have put up a red flag to why the Clippers want to get rid of him.
Maybe. And, that's a lot of money tied up. They obviously are going to be a lot more flexible with salaries coming up for the upcoming free agent summers without having Blake tied up. With Blake, basically, they didn't have room to sign anybody. You know what I mean? So it does feel like it's a reset button.
It does, for sure.
They're acquiring assets. Chris Paul's gone. Now Blake Griffin's gone. That big three of Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin, I mean, there's only one guy left.
Right.
DeAndre Jordan is Will Smith standing alone in the living room.
And Blake Griffin, so I will have probably an easy time transitioning playing with Andre Drummond, who is the same style player as DeAndre Jordan.
I would say a better offensive
player.
DeAndre
Jordan.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Pistons are probably going to make the East playoffs.
Yeah. I like the move for the Pistons. I think it's a decent move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, Avery Bradley wasn't working out like he thought. Tobias Harris was hurt. I'll always love Boban. I might get a Boban Clippers jersey.
Boban, who won the deal, really? The Clippers might have won the deal getting Boban.
You know what I mean? But we'll see. And a lot of people said that they what they think that they're trying to do is clear up cap space for a potential LeBron James wooing. So if you have more cap space, you can say, "Hey, LeBron."
Yeah, right. Everyone talks about LeBron going to LA. The Clippers like, hey, it may not be the Lakers.
Earlier this afternoon, Mark Spears.
There is a Marcus Spears.
Mark Spears, an NBA reporter, said that James is unlikely to even entertain the idea of going to the Clippers, and the Clippers do not believe that he will. They don't think that he's going to sign there. That's not what this was about. So it's just a blow up. They're just going to
blow it up.
Start over again.
That's okay.
Other NBA news: John Wall will miss at least 6 weeks after undergoing a knee procedure described as a cleanup set for tomorrow. That's not great news.
That's not good, and I don't know where they're at in the playoffs.
They are 22-8. They're currently sitting at 6th in the East.
They're not 22-8.
Yes.
22-8. That's not enough games.
22-18.
22-18.
6th.
So yeah, I mean, if they really go on a skid, I know that, Bradley Beal is good, but John Wall really makes that team go.
Yeah.
So that could be really devastating, especially now. Pistons might be better,
Right?
And
Cavs, even though they're in turmoil, they're still in the top 3. Celtics aren't going anywhere. Toronto's not going anywhere.
Right. So yeah, this could be bad. John Wall, John Wall is an exciting player. That's bad for basketball.
Yeah.
But hey, 6 weeks ain't like.
Well, but it's 6 weeks, and we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, this is a cleanup scope procedure of the knee. Like, it's like we hope that he's going to be back in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think Adrian Wojnarowski said like he could, it could be in excess of 2 months that he's out, which means that they could fall real far.
Yeah, if they have a bad 2 months, you're talking about So but I started to say that it is not as bad as missing the whole season. DeMarcus Cousins,
correct,
is facing after he ruptured his Achilles tendon. I believe his left Achilles tendon.
That would be correct.
I watched the play and I didn't really see much, but the Achilles tendon is weird. It doesn't really take much. It doesn't take much for it to pop, and when it does pop, it never looks like much.
Right. It was a non-contact injury. He sort of
he was going for a rebound,
a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you could see that it was a little bit of a placement, like the way that it happened, but it didn't look like anything happened.
It's always when your ankle is like a little too far behind you.
Yeah. And so he could tell. Obviously, he knew right away what happened. I didn't see any of these but he could tell. He knew that something was wrong.
That's as bad as losing John Wall for the Wizards for the Pelicans.
I would say.
They're like the same team. They're a fringe playoff team that they still have Anthony Davis,
but they don't have a whole lot behind DeMarcus Cousins when we're talking about center. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to move Anthony Davis to center, which the whole reason why they got Boogie Cousins is because Anthony Davis is sort of a fragile guy. He's a really big dude, but they don't want him playing center.
Right.
They want him playing power forward. Stick Boogie Cousins in there. He can eat all the other centers for lunch.
Funny about that too is even though that Boogie's the 5 and Anthony Davis is the 4, Boogie Davis is the one that can pull out and shoot a 3.
Yeah, which he has been doing on a pace that he hasn't done in his career this year.
Exactly.
And
DeMarcus Cousins was having a great year. That's devastating.
So I'll tell you exactly how great of a year he was having. He was averaging 25.2 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 5.4 assists per game, according to ESPN Stats and Info. Over the past 50 seasons, only 4 players have put up those type of numbers over an entire season, and all 4 of them were almost unanimously named MVP.
Wow.
So putting up MVP numbers, you know what I'm saying? Whether who knows if they would have made any sort of a run or anything like that, but he definitely had the chance to put up a historic season, and he's a free agent.
Yeah, that's another thing. Free agent year for him.
So
that's
a huge bummer.
His contract will basically come down to,
do you trust his Achilles?
And also how he has to start rehabbing now,
right?
So that when
he's having the surgery to fix it right now. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And
then you got to really start hitting the rehab because you need to look pretty good for someone to want to give you what, 180, 190 million dollars.
Right. But I think that with an Achilles injury, like I'm not even sure that he's going to be ready in the time that, you know, we're talking about July.
Yeah, it's a 9-month-a-year injury.
Right.
Kobe. What was Kobe?
He played on an Achilles.
Played on an Achilles. Well, he like shot free throws.
Yeah.
He
limped around.
But he also like rehabbed and came back at like 39 years old.
Yeah.
Which is crazy from an Achilles. Survivor was Terrell Suggs. I think a few years ago, he blew out his Achilles. People didn't think he'd come back, but he came back. DeMarcus Cousins will definitely be back.
I certainly hope so.
And you know
it's
what?
a little bit more challenging, I think, for a big man, just because the feet and the legs are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Yao Ming.
Right. One thing, I mean, and this just doesn't have anything to do with that theory about the big man, but Isaiah Thomas. I mean, his career was derailed by an Achilles.
Yeah,
not derailed, but ended prior to he would have liked to.
Oh, Isaiah! First Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like Isaiah Thomas. I don't remember him having an Achilles injury.
No.
Before we wrap up, we will. So the Heat are still playing good basketball. They've last night.
Okay.
They're 29-21. 8 games above 500, which is right where you want to be going into the All-Star break. They're a game behind Cleveland's third place. And, you know, if you, over the rest of the year, even if you play 500 ball or 2 or 3 games above 500, you're looking at 48 to 50 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, if they go 500 right now for the rest of the year, 8 games up, they'll finish 45. They'll finish 45-37.
Right.
So, you know, you win a couple more games, you're almost to 50 wins. That's a good team.
It is. It's a good young team,
and that's a team that can win the playoffs. What's frustrating right now is they have trouble winning at home.
Right.
But they can win on the road. They have like the 3rd or 4th best defense in the league in terms of scoring defense.
Right.
So that's what wins in the playoffs: defense and winning on the road.
Right.
So now they just need to win at home a few more. And also, I mean, and the bright side of losing at home is that should be the easiest thing to fix.
Yeah.
If you can win on the road,
you should be able to.
You just gotta, start. What is it about playing at home? Do you need to play a little harder? Then play a little harder. But it's not like they can't win, because we can see them win on the road. So
make it to the playoffs and see what happens. With the Cavs sliding, you might get matched up with them. You never know.
And they may have they may host the first round of the playoffs if they're the 4 or the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So then they'll have, which may not be good for them because they'll have to play more home games than away games.
Right.
So maybe we don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll fix it by then.
But and then we're going in. When is next weekend All-Star? Is this weekend All-Star weekend?
I believe it's the following weekend.
Okay.
They'll do All-Star and Super Bowl together.
So, oh yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So the teams are said. They didn't put the selection process online, much to a lot of people's chagrin.
Yeah.
I don't think. How do you think that would have gone down though? Would a lot of players been like butthurt? Like, would the last person picked be butthurt?
I mean, whatever. It's
you're
an exhibition. It's silliness. It's all about friends and
whatever. Even in the end,
LeBron picked Kyrie anyways.
If you're the last person picked of the All-Star game, I'm looking at everyone else. Well, you're not an All-Star.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know.
All right, Super Bowl.
Anyways,
Patriots or Eagles?
I'm hoping for the Eagles. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm picking the Eagles because I'm just going to go,
Yeah, and how about real quick some of those trivias that we never did?
Oh, that's right.
Please, real quick. Super Bowl trivia. That's our sound for that.
Very prepared for this. Who played in the first Super Bowl?
The Chiefs and the Packers.
That is correct. The Packers won 35-10. Which side of the coin, heads or tails, has been flipped the most? 27-24, baby, wow. Including 4 in a row.
Ooh.
4 in a row for the tails.
So where do you go, heads or tails this week?
I'm going tails, keeping the streak alive. How many official game balls are produced by the NFL for Super Bowl 52?
50.
216.
I want. Wow. Do they need that many footballs?
You never know.
So,
maybe 215 of them will mysteriously disappear.
Do you have any more avocado Super Bowl trivias?
That was the joke.
All right. This has been The Couch. You've been listening on YouTube, live on YouTube. You can also catch it later on YouTube. It never disappears from YouTube.
Whenever you want to.
It's
at
The
your
Couch,
convenience.
Coleman and Matt. Maybe Manny comes back soon.
Hopefully. We miss you, Manny. See you later.